The night was cold, and the single dad, Daniel, had grease-stained hands that told the story of his life, hard work, sacrifice, and survival. He wasn't just fixing cars, he was fixing his family's future, one small job at a time. But tonight was different. Tonight, an unexpected knock at the door would change everything. It began when Emma, a young woman traveling home after a long shift, found herself stranded on the side of the road. Her car had given up, smoke rising from under the hood. With no mechanic nearby and her phone battery dying, she felt hopeless. That's when she spotted a modest little auto shop, still open late at night. Its faded sign read Daniel's Auto Repair. Inside, Daniel was sweeping the floor, preparing to close. His 9-year-old daughter, Lily, was sitting on an old chair, doing homework by the dim light of a flickering lamp. When Emma rushed in, her face filled with worry, Daniel didn't hesitate. He listened to her, nodded, and grabbed his tools. He could have said no, it was late, and he had already promised Lily he'd make dinner when they got home. But that's not who Daniel was. Out on the roadside, he worked tirelessly on Emma's car. The bitter wind cut through his thin jacket, and his hands trembled from exhaustion. But he kept going, tightening bolts, checking leaks, wiping sweat from his brow. Emma watched quietly, realizing this wasn't just a mechanic. This was a man carrying the weight of his world alone. When Daniel finally got the engine to roar back to life, Emma opened her purse to pay him. But Daniel shook his head gently. "No charge," he said. "Just maybe a sandwich if you've got one." Emma froze. She had expected him to name a price, maybe even take advantage of her desperate situation. But instead, he asked for the simplest, humblest thing, a sandwich. Her heart ached at the thought. She promised she would return. The next morning, Emma kept her word. But she didn't just bring a sandwich. She arrived at Daniel's shop carrying bags of groceries, bread, milk, fruit, and even some treats for Lily. Daniel tried to protest, but Emma insisted. And then, over time, she began to notice just how much Daniel had sacrificed. Daniel had once dreamed of owning a thriving repair shop, but after his wife passed away suddenly, every plan fell apart. He was left to raise Lily alone. Money was tight, bills piled high, and sometimes he skipped meals so his daughter wouldn't have to. Lily's clothes were worn, and her backpack was patched up with duct tape, but Daniel never let her feel unloved. He worked every hour he could, yet it always seemed like life gave him less than he gave it. Emma saw this struggle. She saw the quiet strength of a father who refused to give up. So she decided to act. She worked at a local community center, and she shared Daniel's story with her colleagues. Soon, word spread. Donations came in, not just of money, but car parts, tools, even toys for Lily. But Emma wasn't finished. She set up a small fundraiser online, telling the world about the man who had fixed her car for nothing more than a sandwich. The response was overwhelming. Strangers from all over donated, leaving messages of gratitude for Daniel's kindness. Within weeks, Daniel had enough money to repair his shop, replace his broken equipment, and finally breathe without the weight of debt crushing his shoulders. When Emma came by one afternoon to check on him, Daniel's eyes filled with tears. For years, he had believed he was invisible, just another struggling single dad, forgotten by the world. But Emma had seen him. She had given him dignity back. The biggest change, however, wasn't just in the shop. It was in Lily. For the first time in a long time, she saw her father smile. She saw him cooking full meals again, laughing when they ate together, and even taking time to play with her instead of collapsing from exhaustion. The challenges hadn't disappeared. Life was still hard, and grief still lingered. But now there was hope, and there was proof that kindness, even the smallest act, like fixing a car without asking for money, can ripple into something life-changing. By the end, Daniel realized something powerful. Sometimes, the help we give without expecting anything in return comes back to us in ways we could never imagine. And Emma, she didn't just gain a fixed car. She gained a friend, a family to care about, and a deeper understanding of what it means to change someone's life, not with wealth or power, but with compassion. Kindness doesn't cost much. A sandwich, a gesture, a helping hand, it may be small to you, but it might mean the world to someone else. And sometimes, that single act of kindness can come back to change your own life too.